Hi guys, and welcome to GG Reviews and to this review of Supergirl Season 1. So guys, I watched Supergirl and it was one of my favorite shows, you can say, recently. But now that I've seen the last episode and you can say the last 5 episodes, I'm kind of changing my mind. Overall, Supergirl it's a very cool show, but there's so many flaws. Yeah, let's start with the good things. The first thing is Melissa Benoist, and she is the perfect Supergirl there never was. And I don't know if it ever will be a better Supergirl than her. She's the most beautiful young actress I've seen, and she's super talented as well. Yeah, so she embodies Supergirl, that's for sure. She's very charming, she's 100% in the role. The other characters are very good as well, so I don't want to get into too much details about them, but I don't have any complaints. Also, Cat Grant, played by Calista Flockhart, is amazing in the role. She's just stellar. The actress that plays Supergirl's sister is cool. The actor that plays Jones, aka Martian Manhunter, is super cool. Everybody are very great, But there's some stupid plot devices that I just can't accept them. Like, they're depowering Supergirl so much that it's getting ridiculous. And in the last episode now, sorry I said that I'm going to talk about the good things. So okay, the Flash crossover was very, very good. Overall, every episode has a heart, but it's... Okay, I'm starting to talk about the bad things again. Okay, so it has a heart, it's colorful, the special effects are pretty good for a TV show, the flying is good, and the stories are taken from Superman's comics, so they are not really Supergirl stories in any way actually, but they are Superman stories, some of them, which does not bother me. But like I said, I have to start talking about the negatives. To say everything very briefly about the positives, like I said, it's pretty fun show overall, and for TV it's pretty good, and I do want to see it continue. As for the bad things, unfortunately the show doesn't have very good writing. It's amazingly cheesy at times. It really is super cheesy. And that last episode, that bothers me so much. Everything about it bothers me. Supergirl gave a speech, and it was the cheesiest thing I've ever seen in a TV show. So basically, if you're one of those people that complain about how serious and dark is Man of Steel or the new DC universe, if you want things to be light and funny and, like I said, it's a beautiful day and all that stuff, like Superman, it's all flowers and butterflies and unicorns. This is what the show and the movies actually, this is how the movies are going to be like. It's just unbelievable in the sense that I cannot believe it. I cannot believe that what they said is going to change everything, is going to save everyone, and I cannot believe that speech that Supergirl gave. I never seen anything more cheesy in the show, and watching Melissa Benoist delivering those lines, her face was like, oh my gosh, this is so stupid, but I have to be serious, and I'm going to do my best of my acting ability to deliver those absolutely super cheesy lines that nobody will believe, and we all have to look at the cameras so serious and like we're looking at the sky, like we're thinking of something, like it's so awesome. So I have to do this right now, right this second. Okay, I'm starting. Yeah. And that actor that plays Jean, Martian Manhunter, he was like, with his arms on his waist, and he was like, yeah, it was ridiculous. I never seen that, I think, in the TV show, at least not in a modern TV show. And there's nothing bad in, good speeches and good messages, positive messages, but it's terrible writing overall. It's really terrible. They could have thought of anything else. Supergirl, fighting some kind of power in herself. she barely did anything, and at the end the fight was also very strange, unexplained and ridiculous, but more on that in just a second. First of all, I have to, warn you that if you haven't seen Supergirl to the end, I'm going to get into spoilers naturally. Spoilers. The end of the episode, the fight between Non and Indigo, it's stupid because, it's kind of cool, but the editing is very bad, and of course that is done because of the budget and all that. You know how Supergirl tries to fly, and then how she falls, and we see like a close-up of her hair, like she falls, and the camera is in her face, like really close. It's like the worst example of bad editing and jump cuts, just to make us think that the battle is really better than it is. Then we see something like in Man of Steel when Zod and Superman were like hitting each other, then like facing like this, and the same shot almost we saw with Supergirl and Non, and it was very strange, totally CGI, and I don't mind because I know very well that you can't do all those things with ropes, but it looked kinda wooden, you can say, stiff. Anyway, that's not the bad thing. The bad thing is that first Supergirl did something to Non with her laser eyes. She kind of fried him, which is illogical for a Kryptonian, I think. Even if she can burn through his eyes with her heat vision, is super obvious that because Non is already a Kryptonian, he can, shoot those things from his eyes. Apparently, his eye sockets are made for this. That power is created to function, and therefore his eye sockets, head even, is going to be created to withstand such power coming out. So coming in, I don't know, I just don't think that could hurt him. And what the heck happened to him? Hopefully we're going to find out. Is he dead? Is he not? And there's also the thing where Martian Manhunter broke Indigo into two, and before she was also broken, and she came back together, and also she herself is made out of trillions particles, a lot of particles. She can get herself back together so she can go into the network and turn into the internet, basically. So what the hell? Because she kind of died? Or so it seemed. So I don't know what happened there. I really don't know. What the heck was this? Also, another thing, Martian Manhunter was a lot bigger before. When he was introduced, now his head is bigger, but his body is smaller. That's strange. Okay. But that's not my, those are not my biggest problems, but they're just little tiny things that are not well explained at all, and they're so illogical to each other, and not what you can think is going to happen, knowing how the powers of the Kryptonians are, and knowing how the powers of anybody is, and how everybody looks and all that. So that is all not good. Yeah, not well written in any way. The next thing that really bothered me, and that's the huge and the biggest thing, is that Supergirl, she took the prison Fort Ross and flew it into space so she can protect people from the signal that was coming out of Maria that was placed on Fort Ross and all that. Okay, that's fine. Although, Fort Ross in the middle of nowhere, not like attempting to blow it up, hide it more. But anyway, so she flew it into space and then she passed out, and she was probably going to die. Not probably, but she was going to die. And her sister saved her with her pot, with her ship. And what again happened? First of all, Superman or Supergirl, they can both go into space, they can go out of space, they can go anywhere in the solar system or any other system as long as there's, yellow sun in it. They don't need to breathe, They don't need oxygen. They can live underwater. They can stay in space. There's just no problem. If you saw even, I know that they are not connected, but Batman v Superman was in space and he regenerated from the sun when he was, spoilers, survived a nuclear bomb that was shot at him, and obviously Doomsday. And in previous movie Man of Steel, he and Zod fought into space, and Zod threw a satellite directly into Superman's face. So we all know from the comics, from the cartoons, from whatever you like, even from the Christopher Reeves movies, for goodness sakes, that Superman can go into space. He can, fight there, fly there, anything. I mean, he doesn't need to be on Earth in order to fly and all that. So what the heck? I mean, everybody, even people like, like anyone that is not so informed, is not so knowledgeable about DC comics or superheroes, knows that Superman can fly into space. So what the hell, Supergirl writers? What the hell are you thinking? That's an insult to the character. I take it like the most ridiculous thing. It's a weak writing out of convenience for dramatic effect, because oh no, Supergirl is making the ultimate sacrifices. She can't go back to Earth. Well, why not do it like this? I mean, you don't know whether or not Supergirl can fly into space, because probably Superman never did that, so you don't know whether or not she's going to survive that or not. So that's why you were so worried. But then when she went into space, she saw that, oh, it's all fine and dandy and I can actually return, but we can have that emotional impact. Although it was, again, stupid, knowing that she's going to go and probably not going to get back, and all the characters, her sister could still cry about it. Like 2 seconds silence, and then she flew back to Earth and everybody like, yay, she didn't die, or something like this, because it's absolutely stupid. And there was an episode before when she had like a bomb explode in her face or something, like some kind of a nuclear bomb, I'm not sure, that was at the beginning of the season, and Supergirl fell into the ocean and she had to be saved again, and she was about to drown. And that's, again, stupid. Superman, Supergirl, whatever, they cannot drown. So, absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so those are my biggest complaints about the show. And the fact that Supergirl can almost never figure out things on her own. She has to always work with somebody. Same complaint that I have with the Flash, basically. Because he can't do anything by himself. He just can't. He's going to be killed like 10 times over if he's acting on his own. And the Arrow too, yeah. So these days, because writers want to have more characters, we have superheroes so depowered they can't even think about themselves and with their right minds. Oh, and of course, let's not forget that Superman was in the show with his feet, with like shot from the distance. We saw his back, his shadow, you could say his extended arm, the Supergirl, and all that. And it was stupid that Marriott could control him. And the explanation was something like, oh, but he stayed more on Earth, so he has more brain, waves, or more like humans. No, he's an alien. He can't have brain waves more like human brain waves. That's stupid. I mean, biologically, he's a Kryptonian no matter where he lived, and the fact that he's Kryptonian makes him stronger and gives him all the power that he has, but that cannot depower him and make him become more like human. It's just the opposite with Kryptonians. It's the opposite. When they're on our Earth, in our universe with the yellow sun, they become like you know, almost godly, like, almost, I say. It's not even almost, but, you know, a bit close. And Superman and Supergirl are just so depowered here, and Superman is just like an idiot. He was like flying, and Supergirl was like, oh, Quark, and he's like going down, walking with the zombies, the rest of the people that are mind controlled by that stupid idiot Non. Who's actually the guy that played Transporter in the TV series Transporter, and he's terrible. Over the top, like talking about over the top, cheesy, like 80s film or something. They both with Indigo were terrible. And I mean terrible. But anyway, guys. Overall, a fun show, but there's a ton of convenience for the writers. They don't make any efforts to like make super complicated and cool stories. And you know, a good example for a very good story is actually on the originals, a CW show no less, where although there's a lot of powers there involved as well, and our heroes are very strong, and our heroes are actually kind of villains, but anyway, they always find a way to challenge them. They always find a way to write like another villain that could really mess things up, and they always find a way to explain how they are so powerful, and you know, how our heroes are also so powerful, and they never depower somebody in that manner. I mean, Klaus, if you watch that show, he's the biggest badass out there. He's an ancient vampire, and yeah, he's pretty badass, and nobody till now can kill him. But anyway, I mean, they always make things, even when you think, oh yeah, that guy's going to go there and he's going to do this, but of course that he's not going to do this now. But no, he's like, yeah, no, I'm doing it now. There's like a lot of examples, but if you don't watch that show, you won't understand what I'm saying. But you're between a rock and a hard place. They always find a way to explain that, and they're not like, no, we're going to do the convenient thing. Nope, they're doing the more realistic thing, and no matter how the story will go, they just keep going, and that's really hard to do, and it's really interesting to watch. Yeah, so guys, if I have to give some kind of rating of Supergirl, I would say that as a TV show is the first season, Supergirl is a 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, I mean 7.5 out of 10 is not a bad score, but for me it's kind of hard to give it because I really love Supergirl. I really love the show to continue, but the writing has to become a lot more sophisticated and a lot less cheese fest because it's lame. That is lame. Yeah, and it's just not logical, ridiculous, and I'm getting out of the show and I'm like calling it bullshit. Sorry for my language, but it's like watching the show Supergirl and something happens and you're like, that's bullshit. Oh yeah, like she had blood in her ears because Banshee, yeah, was it? I forgot her first super villain name, but the Banshee. She was like, you know, screaming, and Supergirl got blood in her ears. Really? You're getting hurt from that? You're getting hurt from a sound? Yeah, remember in Batman v Superman when Batman tried to, you know, supersonic with super blast of sound, like Superman at the end of the movie, and he's like just, you know, throwing something in those machines that, you know, made the sound, and they were immediately destroyed. But all that did to Superman was that it was just a little bit difficult for him to move forward, but nothing else. So guys, thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to help me, you can share this video, rate, comment, and subscribe. Until next time with Gary G Reviews.